Welcome to the Ricky Mathews Show. We appreciate you joining us for this celebration of Mississippi. We talk about the people who are making this place such a great place to live, work, and play. You know, for a lot of people here, this is a Super Bowl of car shows as we enjoy Cruisin the Coast here at Town Green, live from Town Green. It's not just a Super Bowl of car shows, it's also the top 5 car shows in America. And, of course, USA Today said it's the top car show in America. The event, I like to refer to this event as the king of events in Mississippi. When you think about the massive amount of coordination that has to happen between the 3 coast counties, the 12 coastal Mississippi cities that make up this amazing place, and a single point of contact in Cruisin the Coast organization, the opportunity to bring it all together and set an example for other events to follow. This is it. This is the seminal event. This is it. It's a well-run organization. It's a beautiful day. And if you look around, what you see is a bunch of smiling faces and shiny cars and coastal Mississippi's tourism economy on full display for the world to see. So we're thrilled to be here live at Town Green today celebrating this incredible event. I'm pleased now to introduce 2 guests for the first segment. Rob Sigler, my friend for many years, came from the newspaper business, works for Cruisin the Coast, and he's also a contributor to SuperTalk Mississippi News. And Pete Vicari, my next-door neighbor in Biloxi, who is the president and owner of Vicari Car Auctions. That is an incredibly important event for Cruisin the Coast that takes place at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum and Convention Center. We'll be talking about that in just a second. Rob, how you doing this morning, my friend?
I'm doing great, Ricky. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. Look, you got to be thrilled with not only the weather, but the turnout.
You're exactly right. It's been phenomenal. The last 3 or 4 days of cruising have been tremendous. Large crowds, beautiful cars, great weather. You can't ask for much more than that.
Yeah, I've been following you closely. I've been following your efforts closely, but you couldn't have picked a better headquarters in Gulfport to have the headquarters.
Yeah, Centennial Plaza is awesome. They treat us really well there. Great area to watch and look at cars, and just to cruise through underneath those oak trees and everything. People love to just sit out underneath there and look over the pond out there and the bridge and look out over the Gulf. It's a beautiful view. I love it every morning whenever I go out there to get set up each morning about 6 o'clock. Watch that sun come up over the Gulf, and it's awesome to see.
I did a search on Google this morning, Cruisin the Coast, page after page after page after page of news stories from all over the United States. And then if you think about the social media buzz, just for Instagram and Facebook and TikTok, and I mean, this show is being viewed by people all over the world.
We have people come from all over to come to our event. But there are people that follow us all over the world, from Europe, Asia, Australia, all over South America. We have followers from South America. We've got actually registered cruisers from Canada. We've got some people came in, drove 3 days in their car to get here from Canada to be part of our event. First timers. We've got 4 or 5 vehicles registered from Canada. We've also got some folks from the United Kingdom that are back. They came last year for the first time, and they've returned this year. And we've got folks from all over.
Are we going to hit another record?
We're going to be really close, Ricky. I predict we're going to hit another record. We're at 9390 is what we finished at yesterday. Close of yesterday, 9,390 registered vehicles. Last year, we broke the record with 9,618. So we're almost to the point of breaking last year's record. Usually on Wednesdays, registration at Cruise Central is a little bit slower because folks are here at the block party. They're in other areas of the coast enjoying it. But Thursday and Friday, you have another round of people that come in for the weekend. Yeah. So we're expecting a lot of folks registering today and for the next couple of days. So we're going to be very close to 10,000 is what we predict.
Well, that's awesome, Rob, to hear that. Pete, you got to be delighted, not only with the weather. You look at all these amazing cars, the number of people who are actually in coastal Mississippi, and you're looking at another record event at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum, aren't you?
Yes, we are. We're pushing, I think, right at over 500 cars this year. Plus, we have today is 600 collectible Hollywood memorabilia stuff. this guy's grandfather was collecting. He was in the movie business, and he kept collecting stuff all through the 20s, all the way up into the 60s. And then the dad took over, and he kept collecting. So we got some stuff. I mean, the stuff that's there is great for actual Christmas gifts. I just left there, and this lady was like, oh, my son, he'd like this, he'd like this. And then they picked out like 10 pieces they're going to buy to give them for Christmas.
Yeah.
So, but let me back up a minute. It's going to hit 10,000.
I think you're right, Pete.
I am confident because Woody showed me, and just to the people out there listening, you got to register because they got something real special for number 10,000.
Yep.
I tried to buy it yesterday. I couldn't get Woody to sell it to me. I said, I don't want it. I'll buy it, and we'll auction it off. He said, no, we got to save it for the 10,000 person. Yep. So.
Well, you make a good point. I mean, the reason for registering is that you can be in this like poker run scenario from city to city. It's to also support the organization. So we have thousands of cars that don't register.
Right.
And we'd like to encourage people to find a headquarters wherever you are and register for the event. Help us hit that 10,000 number, huh?
Come
Pete?
by Cruise Central and we'll get you registered. 1989 or older vehicle, we'll get you registered.
Pete, you get
and remember that it's only going to be one, right?
One.
Number 10,000 gets this, and only one person will get that.
There's only one out there.
I'm going to register. Hey, Pete, you got to be excited. When did your festivities start?
We actually started 10 minutes ago, and I need to get over there after this. But like I said, today is all the collectible items at Hollywood Memorabilia. And every day the doors open at 8, and then you can come in and view it. And tomorrow starts the cars. So it'd be Thursday, Friday, and Saturday with cars. And they got a couple boats there. We've got trailers. I mean, it's an amazing. I mean, the people that have consigned this year, and like we were talking about the weather earlier, with all the hurricanes that were going right up on that East Coast, they all started booking because they said it's going to be a great year. It ain't going to be a hurricane.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and that's why we have this great weather.
We've been so lucky, and by the way, it's supposed to be in the 50s Saturday morning here.
Really?
50. Dry as a bone and 50 degrees. What an impression, Rob, that's going to leave on some people.
Absolutely. I think the high, it's going to be 75, mid to upper 70s Saturday and Sunday. So I think it's going to be a phenomenal weekend for cruising and for Pete's event at the Mississippi Coast Coliseum.
So, Pete, when you started working with the Cruisin The Coast event back in the early days, did you ever in your wildest imagination think it would become what it is?
No, when Gene Oswald, who was a director who's since passed away, Gene and we really developed a great friendship. Him and Woody, and Tom Sawyer. We never thought it would be this big. None of us. We thought, well, hey, first year was a couple hundred people, and then it went to 800, then it went to 1,000. But now, we're pushing 10,000.
Right.
Okay?
Yeah.
And these guys, Rob and Craig and Chris and Woody, they all year long, they're doing their thing, and my girls are doing our thing for the auction. So it's great when you see all the effort you've put in all year long, and look what we have here.
Yeah, it's an incredible event. I like when Woody Rob talks about how this is a cruising event.
Right.
A typical car show with displaying the kind of cars we have here today. You go to a big open field somewhere and you ooh and all over each other's cars. Here, though, you actually get to cruise.
You get to drive Highway 90. And what beautiful location can you drive Highway 90 and see the views that you get
and go from Waveland to Moss Point and take it all in, and all these points in between. All 12 coastal cities participating.
All 12. We got the Waveland on board this year. They've got an event going on this afternoon, from 10 to 2 today over in Waveland. So when people leave here at the block party and cruise over there and then hit the event, Diamond Head, the blessing of the cruisers, and Diamond Head afterwards. So, we've got everybody's on board with us this year. So it's really exciting to have that this year, where every city, all 12 municipalities are participating in cruising. So
yeah, that's so cool. Again, it keeps growing. It keeps getting more popular. It is the king of car events, the Super Bowl of car events, as Woody
It is the Super Bowl, and I go all over the country for all different, auctions or shows or whatever, and I tell people about Cruisin The Coast. They say, we've heard about that, but we've never been. And then when they come, they're like, Oh, my God. I don't know why I haven't been coming for years. And they hooked now.
Yeah.
So I've got people that come in here now for 20 years, and they love it. And they tell their friends, and that's why we get people from Canada coming.
Exactly.
Well,
It's all word of mouth.
When I refer to it as this opportunity for us to see this event in action is the coast tourism economy in action. And it's not just what we see here. It's the point that you're making. They fall in love with this community, and they come back when it's not cruising the coast.
Yep.
They do. I mean, look, Ricky, we're building a luxury RV park right now. And because people come here 3, 4, 5 times a year. They love it now here. I got people buying homes here.
Pete Vicari from Vicari Auction, Rob Sigler from Cruisin The Coast. Thank you guys for joining us. When we come back, we have the mayor of Pascagoula. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show. I really enjoyed visiting with Pete Vicari from Vicari Auctions. That auction at the Mississippi Gulf Coast Coliseum and Convention Center is one of a kind. If you haven't been to it before, think of what you see when you see the reality TV shows. In fact, Pete had a reality TV show at some point, but it is a best-in-class, amazing event. So I would strongly recommend, if you haven't been, go. It's very entertaining, and there are some amazing cars there. You see, he's over 500 cars already. That's a heck of an event. And then Rob Sigler, the work that Rob and Woody Bailey and the rest of the team do, the really thousands of volunteers it takes to pull off an event across 3 coast counties and 12 cities simultaneously. And to see what we're looking at here live at Town Green this morning, the beautiful weather, the smiling faces, the shiny cars. And as I said during the first segment, the opportunity for us to see the Mississippi Gulf Coast economy in action, the tourism economy, this is the seminal event to be able to do that. Now I'm joined by my dear friend, the mayor of Pascagoula, Jay Willis. How you doing, Jay?
Ricky, I'm doing great, and I'm so glad to be here with you this morning. Thank you for the invitation.
It's good to see you too, my friend. You drove over. What did you see on the way over this morning?
It wasn't nearly the traffic that I was anticipating because I learned from this last year and got here early.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful weather. Lots of great cars coming into Biloxi and heading all around the coast. We're so excited to be part of cruising.
In Pascagoula, we're looking to see Fofo Gilich coming up. He'll be joining me in the next segment. But the reality is the kind of coordination that it takes to pull this off. Each city, the counties, your team, first responders, with a single point of contact in Cruisin the Coast. It's a massive undertaking, but they pull it off every year, don't they?
Woody and his crew have just done an amazing job through the years at refining the process and making it work so well. It works so well for us. We have our own group of cruising volunteers in Pascagoula, as does Goche, Ocean Springs, Moss Point. And we make it a special event for everybody who wants to come to Pascagoula and see what we're all about.
Yeah.
Our cruise starts tomorrow, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, and we're looking forward to large crowds and fun times.
Well, they added Waveland this year. So from Waveland to Moss Point and all the points in between. So all 12 coast cities are involved.
Right.
And I couldn't help but think about this morning. On August the 29th, 2005, after Hurricane Katrina, when we looked out and saw our economy devastated, 150,000 homes destroyed, where we are right now, the water was 15, 20 feet deep. It's amazing to think about. Here we are now in 2023, this incredible resilience, this coming back, unlike any kind of rebuilding story in the history of the United States. This show gives us a chance to really showcase that recovery, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And the way that the coast pulled together and got to work without sitting around and waiting for somebody to show up from the federal government or someplace else. We just got in there and did what had to be done, and we all worked together to make it happen. And so many times when people think of Katrina on a national basis, they're saying, oh yeah, New Orleans was devastated. Well, New Orleans got the side effects with the broken levees.
Yes.
We got the impact here on the coast of the direct hit of Katrina.
And we own the story, the most amazing recovery story in history. And, I see Fofo Gilich, and I can't help but think about the way the mayors of Jackson County are working together for the good of the county. You guys really, truly believe that a rising tide will lift all boats. And then to take that even further into Harrison County, over to Hancock County, the way the coast mayors are working together, that's unprecedented, isn't it?
It's really good. And Billy Hughes started getting all 12 of us together on a regular basis. And we took that a step farther in Jackson County. And we have the 4 coast mayors who go have lunch every 3 months and sit down and talk about what's going on in your town. What are your concerns? What can we help you with? And it's wonderful.
It's really good to see. There was a time in our history when that wasn't the case.
Oh, absolutely.
We weren't working together. And, you're competitive with each other, but at the end of the day, you share so many common issues.
Absolutely.
And when you do share common issues, you can bring your voice together, and it makes for a voice to be reckoned with when you go to the legislature talking about something that you all agree to.
It really does. We recently had an opportunity to help Moss Point in a devastating tornado that they had. We all pulled together, as everyone on the coast did, to try to pull them out of the difficult situation, and they are still recovering. But it takes everybody working together.
I can't help but just be completely blown away by the mayor of Moss Point. Billy Knight has done such a great job. And he believes that he's planting trees he'll never enjoy the shade from. He says it all the time.
He does.
But a man that's reinvented himself 100 times, like you, like Billy, like Fofo. None of you had to do what you do now. But you're giving back to the community, and you're doing it in such a selfless way. And when you lead in that way, when you're a servant leader in that way, whether it be politics or not, the outcome is going to be better, isn't it?
It's all about public service, and if you're into public service, offer yourself for an opportunity to serve the people that you live with and the community where you are. And that's what I did, and I'm enjoying it. It's a blessing every day. It's a blessing.
Listen, I recorded a show that plays tomorrow with Paige Roberts about the efforts to end, or at least to address, teen suicide. I had this wonderful conversation with her yesterday, and a young lady who by the name of Emma Benoit, who is a suicide attempt survivor. And gosh, it was an incredible conversation. But I couldn't help but think about the work that Paige does with you, the work that Paige does with the mayor of Moss Point, the way the community comes together. The role of the chamber anymore is not just to tend to business. It's to bring the community together, whatever the needs are in the community. And I'm thrilled with the way you are working with the community to help do whatever we need to do to make it a better community. It's great to see that, isn't it?
It is, and thank you for those kind words, Ricky. We all have to work together, whether it's the chamber, the Jackson County Economic Development Foundation, Pascagoula City Council, our Pascagoula Redevelopment Authority, which has had a huge role in revitalizing downtown, the Board of Supervisors, our congressional delegation in Washington, and our state legislators. It takes everybody being on the same page, and I'm proud to say that it is that way now in Pascagoula.
I know it is. It's incredible. When you drive into downtown Pascagoula now, you see a city that is revitalizing. You see a new historic district. You see incredible private investment. Haley Barber used to say after Hurricane Katrina that the government can help you get back on your knees, but it's private investment that's going to help you get back on your feet. And what you guys did is you created an atmosphere, a business atmosphere, a granting atmosphere, whatever it takes to give private investment an opportunity to succeed. And what you've seen is restaurant development, mixed-use development, businesses coming back into downtown, and you're about to get to showcase that with Cruisin The Coast.
Isn't it wonderful? I'm just so excited for people to come to Pascagoula and see what we're all about. Interestingly, Saturday morning, we're having our annual event sponsored by the Zonta Club, which fills the entire downtown area with vendors and food trucks, in addition to the beach park where Cruisin The Coast is going to be. We're looking forward to a large crowd Saturday.
That's exciting. When you walk around downtown, do you walk around with pride?
Oh, it's amazing. My wife owns a business downtown, and the business has been functioning continuously since 1946. And we are now seeing more and more retailers showing back up in downtown. Have a new boutique hotel that's opening in the early spring, and we're just so excited about the things that are happening downtown.
Well, when we talked after Hurricane Katrina, we talked a lot about mixed use. That mixed use was going to be key, combining residential with commercial, so you can bring life back to the community. And you just think about it; it's kind of a no-brainer with Ingalls and Chevron and all the supporting industries that are around there. It's really quite surprising that didn't emerge as like a single gigantic opportunity many years ago. But the reality is now you guys are getting your arms around it, and things are coming together, and it's exciting days for Pascagoula, isn't it?
It is. We have seen it work so well in so many other communities, and we just got it going. It started in 2011, well before I was in office, and we have continued it, and hopefully it will continue for many, many years to come. We're just looking forward to great things.
Mayor Jay Willis, you're going to continue to plant some seeds that you may never see the shade for, but that's what public service is all about, isn't it?
It is, and not feeling like you need all the credit because it's everybody working together.
It really does take a team, and you did a great job of enumerating all that. This has been the mayor of Pascagoula, my friend Jay Willis, who is doing a fabulous job. Drove down to spend some time with us here live at Town Green for a celebration of Cruisin the Coast. When we come back after the break, we're going to visit my friend Fofo Gilich, the mayor of Biloxi, and talk about how exciting this day is for the city of Biloxi. We'll see you when we come back. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show. I am thrilled to be here live at Town Green in Biloxi celebrating Mississippi, coastal Mississippi, really Mississippi's tourism economy in action. It's just incredible to see what we get to witness as Cruisin the Coast enjoys the 12 cities of coastal Mississippi. And today's a big day in Biloxi, and you can't be in Biloxi today and not have the mayor of Biloxi, Fofo Gilich, my dear friend Fofo Gilich, with us. How you doing, Fofo?
I'm great. 3 or 4 words, it's simply the best today.
It's incredible. I said at the beginning, the smiling faces, the shining cars, look at the traffic on Highway 90. And you know what's interesting? I came a little early because of the I-110 issue, but I think because of the I-110 issue, people are planning accordingly.
Yes.
And I didn't sense any major issues related to that. So if anyone's maybe hesitant about coming down here, don't worry about it. You'll find that people have adjusted accordingly. And if you come, you're going to see a hell of an event, aren't you, Fofo?
Oh, no question. Like I said, it get better and better. But truthfully, with the weather and just the whole situation, you couldn't be any better. Maybe better next year, but it'll be a stretch. I've seen some great cars and great people just wanting to say, hey, let's enjoy this because, man, it doesn't get any better than this.
Well, looks like I had Rob Sigler on and Pete Vicari. It looks like they're going to hit another record this year. Pete hit a record for the cars that are going to be in the auction that starts this afternoon and then tomorrow and into Saturday. It's really an event that you think you've seen as good as it can be, and then it just gets bigger. When it's the Super Bowl of car events, when it's the #1 car event for USA Today, that has a way of getting attention.
No question. I mean, I've saw some, the folks with nationwide coverage and shows, and it just gets so I'm surprised. Oh, they're here this year. Where they steal the cars and redo it. And Jacobs, I think, Mike Jacobs. But anyway, no, you hit it right on the nail. That it's good, and it's it will be the best, I think.
Well, listen, you and I, we've had long conversations about the impact of the Croatian community on Biloxi. The Slavic Invitational, I'm proud to have my cup right here, is a big fundraiser for the Croatian community every year. You've been involved in that from the very beginning. In fact, you wrote a very complicated computer program that enables you to be able to plan where people are going to golf and getting their preferences and all of that. But what was so special about this year was something that's never happened before. During the event, the president of Croatia came to Biloxi. Tell me about what that must have been like.
Well, it's about a couple of years worth of things that happened to come together. And when things happen, you just can't. You got to be able to go for the gusto, and that's what we did. About March of 2022, Pierre Simonovic is the ambassador to the United States from the Republic of Croatia, and got to know him pretty good through coming down here and participating in a couple of festivals and so forth. But Pierre is just such a cool. And we had talked a little bit about English, and there's no communications problem. We got to really know Sanja Lakovic, who is the Consul General of Croatia in the United States in Chicago, and he's of course in Washington. But he said we went to a couple of festivals, got to know each other on a first name basis, and about 6 weeks before the visit, he said, Mayor, I have a proposal for you to consider. He said the president of Croatia will be coming to the United Nations on September 19th, and he'll be there 19th, 20th, 21st, but he wants to come to Biloxi after that. In the back of my mind, okay, I've got a golf tournament, about 800 and something players over 5 golf courses, all kinds of logistics, and you can't say no. So you come, whatever, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Just so happens our good friends from Belchase, the Plaquemines, the Croatian Society down there, just completing a building. So all two things at one time. He said he wants to come to Biloxi and then go to Belchase for the opening. So I said, yeah, of course. And then I break the news to everybody else. We got this visit. How are we going to do this? And the typical Croatian uproar.
Yeah.
You got to be crazy. Are you kidding? Those kinds of things. And but you can see I'm smiling. I just love the challenge. It was a challenge, and Secret Service took some things seriously. And they're not used to our community, our Croatian. If you're related to somebody, hey, you're Croatian. I mean, if you're married to somebody, or even next door neighbors, you got that Croatian DNA in you. So we had a good reception both at City Hall. We're fortunate our governor, our Speaker of the House, Senator Wicker was there, and a lot of our state, Kevin Felsher, and those folks were there as far as local representation. But he was truly impressed. Just a tremendous guy. I don't know. You remember, Dr. Mitchell Gruich, right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And he's typical Croatian. I'm talking about, he looks like Mitchell Gruich's twin brother. Yeah. I'm telling you. And just as sharp as can be, and he just unbelievably, you couldn't believe that this, over the, since 1900, how this thing, the Croatian migration and, fitting into the economies and some of the challenges of the Industrial Revolution. But now here we are. And, I'm still smiling. Like if we had video, you could see I'm just tickled to death.
Well, I'm honored to be able to say my kids are now Croatian descent. I married into the Bahanovic clan, and one of the most special things that I've had the opportunity to get to know is the Croatian heritage and what that stands for. And I just
the story,
the story. We've been to Croatia. You've been to Croatia. The opportunity to have the Croatian president here. I bet he's never experienced anything like that before.
And he had 6 of his top ministry. He had the Ministry of Defense, who actually he took my wife aside. Listen, you're a Savage. My grandmother was a Savage. So, I mean, they wired into where we were from. Matter of fact, most of 3 of my 4 grandparents were from Broch in the Split area on the coast. But my grandfather Gilich, who migrated, it was from a place called Sin, and it's a number of kilometers, 10, 12 kilometers from Bosnia-Herzegovina. The president of Croatia's ancestry is from Sin also.
Wow.
And I told him, and actually I did while we were there for our 50th anniversary. I went to this is called not a village, it's called a hamlet, where they migrated in after. This is Middle Ages kind of migration. And I said, you see this? We not only we have the heart of Croatia, I got part of Croatia.
Well, Ann and I went to have a cup of coffee in Bosnia while we were there, and we were welcomed. People were so welcoming. But, of course, the people in Croatia love you to death, and that's exciting. So, you look out over here, people are coming here, and they're enjoying the Biloxi heritage. They're getting in touch with that. And it's just a happy time for Biloxi, isn't it?
It is. I'm telling you, like you said, smiling faces everywhere, and just, hey, where you been, man? I ain't seen you. Said, well, here we are. But
I bet you run into people out here that you've seen for year after year after year.
Oh yeah. You're from Dallas, from a lot of places, and just generally. it's so cool. It's like almost like the golf tournament. You know how everybody comes around. I noticed this year about the golf tournament. I think probably the impact, I guess the DNA of it now. I see 20 and 30 people coming from the same area, like Gonzales or even Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Okay, now it's going to be a guys outing situation.
Yeah.
And it really that it opens up a lot. We got something special for next year too. Because where we're doing things at the Civic Center, then of course the at Point Cadet, that's the best shrimp and the best ribs you've ever had.
Right. And, I know that.
You.
Hey, listen, Fofo, what would you do the rest of the day? What does today look like for you?
Well, who knows? But I think we got to come back here about 11 with Gerard, and then I'll be picking a car that's my favorite. So I'm gonna be roaming around and of course shooting the breeze with everybody that was here.
Last 2 years ago, I walked through with Woody Bailey.
Oh yeah.
And I think I may have mentioned this to you. It was kind of like walking with Elvis. Everybody knew him.
Yeah. Well,
they do a fine job, don't they?
Unbelievable job when you figure, there's 9,000 pre-registered or something like that, and then logistically I know what it's like to get 8 or 1,000 people's, pack it to you, right, in the golf tournament.
Yeah.
Where you're going to be playing, where you need to be in. You can imagine 9,000-10,000 now.
Wow.
I mean, it's logistically, it's you need to take it's called an operations research kind of model that you have to do in order to make sure you got there people where you need to be and what you got to do.
Well, they've got I think maybe 3 full-time employees at Cruisin The Coast, maybe 3 or 4, and so they do this with car clubs and cities getting people involved, thousands of volunteers.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just again, this because you wrote the program that enables you to do a golf tournament like that is unique in America. It is a massive undertaking, but what a great opportunity to showcase not only Biloxi's, not only coastal Mississippi, but Mississippi's tourism economy. What a great day it is for the city.
Yeah.
Closing thoughts?
Well, like I said, we're implementing something called Civic Rec. It kind of gives you an idea. Okay, I want to do this. What other things does it impact? Utilities, water and sewer, not only security, all kinds of things. But it's a massive, like I said, an operations research model that you just can't say I'm going to do this, and then you got 5 things that may conflict or may drain resources, and this is a perfect thing. You got 12 municipalities and 3 coastal counties, so it is a pretty good from those nerds like me that like to get into the weeds about what you got to do, build your schedule, build your model, and then first of all then say what is it going to cost, what is the return. I mean, I enjoy those kind of mental gymnastics. That's what it is.
I know you do. You have a degree in mathematics. You were in the software business and highly successful, and you didn't have to be mayor of the city of Biloxi. That's for sure.
That's okay. I'm doing what I want to do. I can promise. And it's what our grandparents did for us, to giving us the opportunity, giving our now our kids, and we're going to give our grandkids the same enjoyable. Gotcha.
This has been the mayor of the city of Biloxi, my friend Fofo Gilich. When we come back, we're going to be talking with Judy Young from coastal Mississippi. We'll see you after this. Welcome back to the Ricky Mathews Show as we look out over the thriving Mississippi tourism economy. We can't just say Biloxi at this great event at Town Green, and we can't just say coastal Mississippi. What we do to contribute to Mississippi tourism is significant, and this event is the seminal event. And by the way, I loved checking in with my good friend Fofo Gilich. What a great mayor he is here in Biloxi, how welcoming he is as he walks around and chats with people and takes it all in. He's very, 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 very proud, as you can obviously imagine, and as you can see from the conversation we just had. Now we're going to shift gears. I'm thrilled to have my friend Judy Young, who's the CEO of Coastal Mississippi Tourism and a good friend. And Judy, you got to be thrilled by this event.
It's fantastic, and I think we're going to take all the credit for the weather.
You should. And then, like we were saying, it's going to be dry and low 50s on Saturday morning.
It's going to be good.
Wow, you can't ask for more than that. And I think that there might be some rain coming later in the week, so thank God we got it now. We need some rain, by the way.
We do.
We need some rain to happen.
Well, and thanks for sitting us here where I can keep a watch on my future blue Bronco.
Oh, good for you!
I like
I do too.
Yeah.
I had one of those at one point. Your team is set up over here to the left of us. You got to be proud of your team.
They're outstanding. We have a full crew and so many talented professionals from literally we have folks in all 3 counties, from all 3 counties. So I'm super proud of the work they're doing, and we got a lot more work to do.
Well, I've watched the work that you and the commission have done, especially working with the president, chairman of the commission, Greg Cronin. He's been a terrific chairman, hasn't he?
He has. He really got me through most of my first full year, and was a strong leader for me, great mentor, and very calming, and just, put your head down and just get the work done and be the best that we can be. And Jimmy Ladner is now the incoming president, and what a treat there. I've had the greatest time with him these first few months, and I learn more every day. Yeah. His depth of experience in government really helps me tremendously.
That's so awesome. Hey, Judy, when you look out and see, as I say, the smiling faces and the shiny cars and Highway 90 bustling, what do you see?
I see every walk of life from all over the country, and it runs the gambit on the age groups. I see kids because we're in a fall break, so what an outstanding opportunity.
More kids than usual today, yes.
It's outstanding. A lot of challenges in the long game for vintage classic cars is, what is the next generation going to do? Are they going to be invested? Are they going to get it? And so I think events like this really start to build that foundation.
Yeah, that is so exciting. We have all 12 cities involved this year.
We do.
The opportunity to go from city to city to see the unique sense of place that exists in each of those cities, the unbelievable recovery story that each city tells since Hurricane Katrina. But what a great event to showcase the unique diversity that exists here in coastal Mississippi.
It is truly a one coast event. I mean, it's not a coastal Mississippi event, although we are the one coast as well. But it engages every major community, minor community in the area. Everyone takes pride. I was very excited to hear about the big showing in Moss Point already this week. They're still recovering from that tornado, still have a lot of challenges. They never blinked an eye, said, come on down. And I believe they're going to end up raising a lot of money to help with their recovery.
I think they are. And, the mayor of Moss Point, Billy Knight, he's one of my heroes. Here's a guy in his 80s who's reinvented himself I don't know how many times and is giving back to the community. Like I said with Mayor Jay Willis a few minutes ago, he says that he's planting trees that he'll never see the shade from. But what a selfless leader he is. It's exciting, isn't it, to have leaders like that?
He's a great leader, and he's so gracious. I mean, I'll call and I'll ask a question about some dynamics I'm not quite sure of, and he just kind of gets me through it and helps me out. So I'm very fortunate that we have such kind leadership and mentors that have been here for generations.
They have been.
That doesn't happen everywhere.
The way I describe the mayors of coastal Mississippi is all of them had success in their real lives, and they decided to give back. They didn't see becoming mayor as a promotion in life, but they saw it as an opportunity to be a servant leader. Mm-hmm. And when you take that approach, then you're more willing to work together. You're more willing to help the tide of the 3 coastal counties rise so that all boats will rise. And it's true, though, and you see it in your work every day, don't you?
I do. It's when you're in an industry that is now surpassing 27,000 employees. You become the 3rd or 4th highest-ranking employer per se on the coast, and those mean that your friends and neighbors have jobs that they go to work with every day and are providing great customer service and hospitality of the likes of a lot of people don't experience. We call it the terms of endearment.
Yeah.
Because you get them from no matter where you go, the convenience store, the grocery store, anywhere else.
What is in the hearts and minds of coastal Mississippians for that matter, that's our secret sauce, the people. We learned after Katrina that buildings don't make a community, the people do. And this particular car show gives us an opportunity to put that on a grand stage for everybody to see.
It does.
Judy, it's been a pleasure to spend some time with you, my friend.
Thanks. Enjoy the show.
Look forward to having you back and tell your whole story. Hey, it's been terrific being here live at Town Green in Biloxi for the show today, and I want to tell you to stay tuned as we move on to other programming for SuperTalk, where we continue to celebrate coastal Mississippi. We'll see you after this.